In this video, I'm going to show you how to add more disks onto your game. So we have all kinds of different buttons here. I can click 6 disk demo, and that's going to work for 6 disks, and we can change to 8. And a recursive function is going to work with any amount of disks, so there was no problem here. And the unordered list on the left side, what we're doing now is we are prepending here. So we can always see the new move, and because it's so long, we are setting overflow to hidden on this div. So once they go past there, they're hidden, and it doesn't overflow onto the div below it. So we can go over to the code, and let's start off at the with the HTML. And like I said I was going to do before, I've actually created a new div here with the ID of disks, and I've removed all the disks from it. So it's going to start out empty, and we're going to populate this with the disk divs depending on which button the user clicked on. Let's go over to the JavaScript, and I've created two new global variables here, which is game.timeout, which is set to null, and game.start, which is set to 0. Okay, so when the game hasn't been played yet, this is set to 0, and I'm going to show you right now why that's important. So we have our, the way the game starts now is when a user clicks on a button. So I have input and then bind on the click handler, and that's past this function. And the function is if game.start is equal to 0, which means no one has played the game yet, then we set game.start to 1. And after that, disk amount is set to, we go to this adder ID, so which input did they click on? So we select the one they clicked on with this, and then we grab the ID attribute, and you'll see that how these are, it's called 3 disk, 4 disk, 5 disk. And the reason I did this is so that we can run the parseInt function on it, and then we can get the just a number like 3, 4, 5, and we're going to store that in disk amount. After that, we run this populate disks function, and we pass it the amount of disks. So let's go over to that and just scroll up here to populate disks. And populate disks takes the amount of disks it needs to populate it with. And the first thing we do is we set the disk HTML to an empty string, just declaring the variable here. And then we're going to set this var bottom to disks times the game.diskHeight, which is 20. So for example, let's say we start off with 4. Okay, so bottom is set to 4 times 20, which is 80, minus 20, which is going to give us a result of 60. Okay, and if you think about it, what we're doing right here is we're getting the height that the very first disks should be placed on. So if we look over here, for example, if it was just 4 disks, okay, you can click 4 disk here, and well, let's just wait till they finish moving here. So you can see with 4 disks here, the very top one, which will be disk 0, what should its bottom value be? Well, its bottom value should be 60, okay, because the first one has a bottom value of 0, then the next one is 20, the next one's 40, so the fourth one should be 60. So it's the disk height times 4, and then minus the disk height. So that's what I've done here. The first thing we're doing is we're setting the bottom value for that top disk, the smallest one. And then we're doing a loop. For var I is set to 0, as long as I is less than the disk amount, I++, and disk.html is set to disk.html plus, and then this div right here. And then for the ID disk, and then we concatenate on I. Okay, so what this is going to do is it's going to create all of our markup for our divs, and we're going to store it in disk.html. And after we do that, we are going to use this inner HTML function here of jQuery, and then we're going to place the HTML inside the disk div, which we had over here, which is starting off empty. Okay, so now we've got all of our disks put into our markup, and the next thing we're doing is this. Okay, for I is set to 0, I is less than disk, I++, and then we grab the disk plus I dot CSS. We set the bottom value to bottom plus pics. Okay, so what this is going to do the first time is going to be disk 0, which is our smallest one, and its value is going to be set to 60 in the beginning. If we were working with 4 disks, it would be 60. And then after that, we set bottom to bottom minus the height of a disk. Okay, so now 60 is going to become 40, which is the height that we want for the next disk. Okay, and then this is going to, for the next time that this loop goes, it's going to be disk 1, and then disk 1 is going to have a bottom of 40, which is going to be correct. And so this is going to make all of our disks, and it's going to place them in the right position. So once this is finished doing its thing, control is going to get passed back to our input click function right here. And after we populate with the disk, then we're going to calculate all the moves, and we're passing that to disk amount. Okay, we've seen this function before, and this is going to calculate all the moves that are going to happen, populate our move to array, move from array, disk order array. And after that, we're doing game.timeout is set to set timeout, and we're setting the disk up after 300 milliseconds. Okay, before I had this to like 1200, but 300 milliseconds is enough for this program to calculate all the moves and then start animating them. And whatever is returned by this, it returns a unique value that we can't see, and that returns it to game.timeout. Okay. Now underneath that I have an else statement, and this else statement was necessary because what was happening is I was getting a really nasty bug, which was if somebody clicked one of these and then they clicked another one, well, these disks were going all over the page because well, basically it had 2 set timeouts running at once, and it was being told to animate twice each of the disks, and they were actually just going all over the page. So if game started was equal to 1, that means a move has already been played. Okay, so what we need to do if someone clicks again is we need to reset all of those variables down here that we put values in the first time around. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to clear the timeout from the last time, just in case they double clicked one really fast and it started 2 different functions going. So first thing we do is clear the timeout, and then we reset all of these values to what they were initially, and then after that same old thing. So for our disk amount, this is the same. Populate the disks, calculate all the moves, and then we're setting game.timeout when we're going to start animating the disks after 300 milliseconds. Okay, so let's just go over to where this is going to lead to, which is send disk up. Okay, and in send disk up, if I can find this function, which is right here, actually the first thing that I had to do was clear timeout again with game.timeout. Okay, because we were also getting bugs in here if this wasn't present, because if, for example, if somebody clicked a button quickly after they double clicked or triple clicked, what was happening was 2 functions or 3 functions were being run at the same time, and the disks were being sent all over the page, like I was saying. So as soon as that finished and we get sent to that function, the very first thing we're doing in send disk up is we're clearing that timeout. Okay, and after that we're just doing our regular animations. So that's basically all the changes I needed to make to get this going. Oh, and the last thing I wanted to talk about was this list right here, and I sort of simplified how that was done. Let me just try to find it. So the game.order list, this is built here inside the send disk up function, and we have game.order list right here. Okay, and if we look at the top, we'll see the game.ordered list is set to the ordered list, which is in the div. This is this part right here. And let's go back down to the send disk up function. And what we're doing here really simply, actually the way I had it before wasn't optimal, but now this is the way it's supposed to be, which is game.orderList, and then we use jQuery's prepend function, and then we prepend on game.listItems.shift. Okay, and this is going to take the first item of the all those list items, take the first item off the array, and it's going to prepend it into this ordered list right here. And that's what we want. We want it to prepend it because first this is going to show the first move, okay? And after that, the second move, we want to put that on top of the one, okay? So that's why we use the prepend function right here. Get one, and then the next time around the loop, we take off the first one from the array and we place it on top of that one. So 2 gets placed on top of 1, and then 3 on top of 2, and you can see that happening here. 1, and then we place 2 on top, 3, and so on. And this way, the visitors can always see, the current move where it should be moved to. And that's basically all I had to do for this, and thanks for listening.